Yo, what's up? You're gonna jump right into the end of day for today. Okay, starting off with Euro USD. Structurally, Euro USD is still bullish, right? It's still bullish here. And then yesterday we had an IPOS, and then we had a pullback right into the lows of this IPOS, and then we have the internal low holding here, right? Now, come into the morning, I spotted a order flow shift trade, right? Like where we sweep the Asian low, we are in the extreme as well. Maybe even this 1 hour extreme PY just for better visual representation of what I'm saying, right? Nice 1 hour PY, and then on the 15-minute chart, of course, you take the trade. Now, almost hit TP. Could it be an issue of like stop loss here? Maybe you want to use maybe want to use a smaller. Could have used the smaller stop, 6.5, and then 2.2 would have been hit with a smaller stop, but those are like the finer adjustments, right? So it's really picking at straws. In reality, it didn't hit TP, right? Had I taken this, so I didn't take this mainly. I think I was a little bit late actually today, because I did come back around 8:30. Actually, I kind of missed this. I saw it moved, and then I saw it come back as well, but then I didn't really have the confidence to take it. Right? Because also I was thinking it's phase 2A, and I kind of like this type of trade all the way down here on the swing and not the internal, right? But anyway, it was with the bullish momentum, so yeah, I didn't take it, right? So it is what it is. I'm not gonna put it down as a missed trade, because I looked at it, like it literally came back. I had time to think about it, and maybe I should have written down my thoughts like I did on GPSD. I think I'm gonna start writing down my thoughts at the time that I'm seeing this, but sometimes it's a little bit harder to remember exactly what my thought process was as it's playing out. So moving forward, I'll just write down my thoughts here. Also, I was thinking maybe writing down my pre-session thoughts on what I think could happen, what my plan is, and then later in the day, right, like when I do my EOD, just look at the difference in what I thought would happen and what actually did happen. But sometimes I don't have an opinion. I'm just waiting for more, so I'll just write down that no real opinion, just waiting for more to happen. So yeah, and then I think also I'm gonna go back and do a bit more theory, right? Because I think I also figured that maybe my theory is not up to standard in terms of, I think I'm still using a little bit too much discretion, right? Because if this was mechanical, I would have listed down the pros, the cons, and then just executed on that. Instead, I'm just like thinking about the pros and cons, but there's no execution. If I'm saying this is a valid trade, then there should be execution. So what are the parameters of a valid trade, and how do I automate the analysis of the parameters, right? So that there shouldn't be too much discretion, I think, in my trading. I think right now it's a little bit too much, because sometimes I find myself just thinking about is this valid or not, right? I shouldn't be thinking too much about it. Should be a process of elimination, basically. So yeah, from tomorrow, definitely, what are my thoughts pre-session, right? Or whatever time that I actually start analyzing, and then even when there's an idea like this, like I'd call this a trade idea, right? Write down the thoughts on the idea, and then I've actually also gone and like made a new section on my Notion to start recording my ideas. I have the good setups, I have the ideas, and then of course the normal journal. So yeah, I think it's gonna make the process of journaling and accountability that much better. And then yeah, so this didn't take it, just waiting to see how it plays out, and then I'll record the whole thing. And then I took 2 losses on GPUSD. This is the second loss. So this one, at least I can explain my thought process better, because I could actually write down some pros and cons, which is just for and against. Like, so actually, let me start on the previous one. Let me start on the previous one. I think it makes a little bit more sense when I start on the previous trade and not the second one. Makes a little bit more sense. So the previous one was an LC2A, right? Counter swing pro internal, right? I did do my checklist and all. Valid liquidation was there, but the thing was, there was a tiny early entry invalidation. So this is the type of thing where, and it needs to be concrete. If there's a early entry invalidation, no trade. If there isn't one, then yes, trade. You understand? So I need to like iron out some of that, because here there was an early entry invalidation, right? Because you have the sweep, the chalk, the strong liquidation, and then this candle moves up and then down, right? And then this candle, the next candle opened actually lower than this one, which technically means a trade was traded, right? But then it moved immediately up. This was tiny. This is like, I don't know if like it's a micro pip or what, but like 1 point out of the 35,000, it was like 1 point. So does it qualify as like an early entry? I'm not sure if it one. Hence, I was like a little bit confused at the time in terms of what decision to make and how I see that. So yeah, it was a little bit confusing, but yeah, anyway, I ended up taking the trade, and then I took the loss. I think the idea of the trade was okay though. Like, it was a good idea. I think it was a very, very good idea. If I can just come here so you can see better. Right, so pro internal, right? This is for the trade was pro internal, have a flip zone, liquidity to target, and then we had the supply chain, and then against this was selling after the equal, like the equilibrium of the swing has been basically the middle, like it went below the middle, and then I'm still trying to sell. And then there was an early entry, but I think the idea as a whole was still a whole idea, not a whole idea, but a good idea. But this was the idea in here. Like, if I can zoom in here, you can like literally see this next candle open, it moved down like 1 point, you know, like 1 point there, and then it moved up, which technically is an early entry validation. But then I thought, okay, this nice liquidity here, and then there's this double bottom here to target as well as liquidity moves down. But then yeah, that doesn't end up working out, and then it pushes higher. Okay, now I started having the thoughts of like last week. I think that's where the mistake of this was. Right, this candle here was a news candle. There was like unemployment rate for GDP in Britain this morning, 8 a.m. But it was a two bulls event. Like, there's like 2 bulls is like medium importance, and then 3 bulls is like very important, like your NFP, your CPIs, any like not any but most like US news event, CPI, NFP, sometimes PPI, unemployment rate, sometimes all those funny events that just make the like market move a lot. Right, so I saw this, okay, like big move. Okay, I checked it out. It was actually a news candle, and then last week, remember, I won the trade where news candle mitigated a little bit of the previous supply, right? And then now I'm trying to trade the same idea, right, with the sweep and then the 5 minute entry after it closes. And then yeah, I just I end up taking a loss in there. Yeah, I think this was not a great idea, simply because this news event was not as important in terms of importance as the US one. This one was like 2 bulls, that one was 3 bulls. So yeah, I think I was just grabbing at straws. So even in my mind, I was like, I know I'm pushing the limit here, but whatever. Okay, like I'll just take the trade and then just journal it. And yeah, I don't think I'll ever take another one like this, but I think for the sake of taking it, I took it. It's not good to take losses for the sake of taking losses, but it's experience, right? So since I did lose to win this, and it sets me back, I think it helps in the future that I don't make the same mistake. It's kind of backwards, but in my head it kind of makes sense. So again, selling after the equilibrium has been mitigated, and then also again I'm selling from a zone that's been mitigated already, and then supply failed. This supply which created a low here failed. Now if supply is starting to shift, then I should probably not be still looking for sales. That's the kind of thought process in this, right? That was like my thought process for this one. So yeah, 2 losses in there, not bad. I think the idea was half decent, but yeah, ends up not working out. I think on another day this maybe works, or another day not today. And the USD CAD, coming into this, we had the iBoss there, so this was the internal low down here. Small movement down, pushes higher. Okay, I'm not looking for sales. Like I wasn't really looking for sales in here. Like I said, is it like discretion again? I just wasn't feeling sales. I don't know for what reason, but I just wasn't feeling sales in there. Yeah, I literally just wasn't feeling sales in there. So, but yeah, even POI, like I don't like when it's like this iffy type of price action. I really don't like iffy type. You can see the sweep. Let's say if you looked on the M5, you would have had this movement down, movement up, sweep, and then by the time it sweeps, it already breaks the zone. And then, yeah, it's just too iffy for my liking. The one pure I did like was this one, and I had an alert on this one here, right? Not exactly the pivot, but at least it swept the high, right? It's a sweep flip, right? Sweeps the high, moves down, right? And then a lot of momentum comes in. The unfortunate thing was it moved up in this candle, right? Once it broke or like was sweeping this high again, I set the alert on this pure eye, like hoping it'll break and close like this and then come back here, then I'll buy. But then it came back before the break and close, so this was not a valid buy in the way that I like to interpret this, right? So yeah, ends up not being a buy, even though it pushes nice and high. But yeah, we'll see tomorrow what happens today. Yes, took losses, but I don't feel them, these ones. I think only one was invalid, but I guess it's a little annoying, but it's okay because I let myself make the mistake. Then we'll see. Yeah. That's it, I think. Yeah, peace.